From being booed while speaking at college graduations to fighting with hecklers at his own shows, it recently seems like anything involving Jerry Seinfeld is bound to end with dozens of nasty headlines. Which is why a lot of people have begun to ask the question, what is going on with Jerry Seinfeld? Or more like, what's the deal with Jerry Seinfeld?
Yes, so you're really influencing everyone here. We're all on your side now because you have made your point so well and in the right venue. You come to the right place. Tomorrow we will read in the paper, Middle East 100% solved thanks to man at the Kudos Arena stopping Jew comedian. They stopped him and everyone in the Middle East went, oh my God, let's just get along. We can't. We have a genius, ladies and gentlemen. It's a comedy show, you moron.
The clip you just watched is just the most recent incident involving Jerry Seinfeld to make the news. After a protester in Sydney, Australia disrupted Seinfeld's show before being removed from the venue. This story ended up all over the internet and is still fairly new. But the Seinfeld drama started almost 2 months prior to this show in Australia, when during an interview with The New Yorker back in April of 2024, Jerry Seinfeld expressed his stance that TV comedy has been hurt by the extreme left, PC crap, and people worrying too much about offending others.
Nothing really affects comedy. People always need it. They need it so badly, and they don't get it. It used to be you would go home at the end of the day, most people would go, oh, Cheers is on, oh, MASH is on, oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on, All in the Family's on. You just expected, there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people.
Most of the controversy came from later in that interview when Jerry would go on to claim that because of PC censorship, it would be impossible to make shows like Seinfeld in today's era. This statement was the crux of the pushback from thousands of people online, including Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who felt like Jerry Seinfeld claiming to be a victim of cancel culture while having a clean-cut show and persona came off as hypocritical and out of touch.
You know what's funny? A lot of people are giving him, he's getting like dragged on social media.
I saw that.
By people being like, you know, oh, the most vanilla comedian. Seinfeld was f***ing edgy.
He had bite.
Dude, they did a show about masturbation on NBC primetime in the 90s. That wouldn't fly today. That's the only point he's making. He's like, it was easier then. Like, I don't know how he's getting dragged for saying, no, I had it easier.
Right.
That's literally what he's saying. They don't make sitcoms anymore is what he's saying.
I know. Then the guy pushed back and was like, what about Curb? Curb's pretty edgy. And he's like,
grandfathered in.
Grandfathered in. A 30-year-old guy trying to pitch a show could not do Curb.
The interviewer, David Remnick, isn't that what Curb's all about? Yeah, Larry was grandfathered in, says Jerry. He's old enough, so he goes, I don't have to observe those rules because I started before you made those rules. We did an episode in the series in the 90s where Kramer decides to have a business with homeless people or pulling rickshaws. And he goes, they're outside anyway. Do you think I could get away with that today?
He's 100% right, but everybody's like, boomer take, whatever. And you're like, but the guy knows TV more than you. And to his point where he goes, there's no All in the Family anymore. Like, I got into a fight with my friend about this. He's like, there's Louder Milk. There's this show. I'm like, 8 people are watching Louder Milk. 6 people are watching this. There's nothing we could all go home and watch.
Just 5 days after that cancel culture story started to pick up steam in the news, Jerry's brand new movie, Unfrosted, debuted on Netflix after a huge marketing campaign that sent Jerry all across the media world for dozens of interviews. However, after its premiere on May 3rd, 2024, Unfrosted was met with very mixed reviews.
I want to do a movie about Shake Shack. How Danny Meyer decided to put the burger on the potato bun. And I'll just sit there in Madison Square Park and I'll be like, in 2009, there was an invention called Shake Shack that allowed this fat country to get even fatter. And I have every comedian in the world is in this movie. And they all do a fine job. I'm not going at any of the comedians here. It's just the movie, the jokes aren't really funny. The premise is insane. Here's what's also funny about this. This is what unleashed decades of obesity in this country. Decades of cancerous, sugar addiction. And they kind of goof about it, but it's not ever treated as it should be. Like the invention of the nuclear weapon, the Pop-Tart. Like marketing sugar to children the way we did was like probably one of the darkest things we've had. The whole movie should start where it's just legless fat people in hospitals. And it should have been a documentary, and Jerry Seinfeld should go up to a guy who's got one leg, and he's just interviewing this man whose leg has been cut off. And he goes, "What happened to you?" And the guy starts by saying, "I was raised on Pop-Tarts." See, that's the real movie that should have been made.
There were still plenty of positive Unfrosted reviews as well, and the film featured an insane roster of comedians. But with a 43% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, it seemed like people had higher expectations for Seinfeld's directorial debut. And just 9 days later, the students at Duke University let him know how they felt.
Comedian Jerry Seinfeld today taking the stage at Duke University, where he was scheduled to deliver the commencement address and receive an honorary degree.
Pro-Palestinian protests that engulfed college campuses have now found a new stage, the graduation stage. At Duke University Sunday, about 30 students walked out of the commencement ceremony as comedian Jerry Seinfeld was being introduced.
It would be funny if the students at Duke walked out in protest of the Pop-Tart movie, but obviously these protests were in response to the conflict in the Middle East, which in fact was not started by Jerry Seinfeld. However, the walkout at Duke was also not as heinous as the media framed it to be. According to an Instagram story posted by Jerry's wife that same day, there was a minimal interruption and a small group of protesters walked out. They were booed by the crowd and the stadium chanted Jerry.
Privilege is a word that has taken quite a beating lately. Privilege today seems to be the worst thing you can have. I would like to take a moment to defend it. I say, use your privilege. I grew up a Jewish boy from New York. That is a privilege if you want to be a comedian. If I messed up a funny story around my relatives, they would go, "That's not how you tell that joke. The prostitute has to be behind the drapes when the wife comes in." You went to Duke. That is an unbelievable privilege. I now have an honorary doctorate of humane letters degree from Duke University. And if I can figure out a way to use that, I will. I haven't figured anything out yet. I think it's pretty much as useful in real life as this outfit I'm wearing. But so what? I'll take it. My point is we're embarrassed about things we should be proud of and proud of things we should be embarrassed about.
Guest spots from last week. The Joe Rogan Experience had on Tim Dillon, Freeway Ricky Ross, and Action Bronson. Stavros Halkias made it 3 Bears, 1 Cave. Johnny Pemberton came all over your mom's house. We Might Be Drunk welcomed Gary Veter and Chaz Palminteri. Gary Veter was also on Soder. Taste Buds battled Fireworks. Stavi's World welcomed Greg Stone and Sal Volcano. Sal Volcano was also the guest on Tiger Belly, as well as You Be Trippin'.
Where are we going today?
We went to Ibiza. I've never called it Ibiza.
That's how the Spaniards say
They
it.
say it, so I said it to be fun about it. But
Yeah.
Ibiza, Spain, 2002, I believe.
2002.
22 years ago, with a young 25-year-old Sal Volcano was in his clubbing days.
That's when you were still Volcano, right? Before you changed your name
That's right.
to be different.
I was Volcano. Yeah, I changed it from the O to the U.
Yeah. it's
I
like
was sick and tired of the
Volcano was
jokes.
Joe versus the Volcano was already
Yeah.
taken, and so
You know how many volcano things I've heard my whole life? Sal versus the Volcano, don't erupt on a
Oh, really?
Volcano. Yeah,
Oh,
like
my
Volcano.
God.
Yeah, everything Volcano.
This past weekend with Theo Von talked with Nate Haverson. Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast welcomed Adam22. Shane Gillis throated some wings on Hot Ones. Ralph Barbosa made an appearance on Whiskey Ginger. Marcus King was the guest on Burtcast. Ryan Shanner and Sydney Nat stopped by the Real Ass Podcast. Are You Garbage had on Rachel Feinstein. Nate Marshall and Sean Gardini took a trip to Stuff Island. Maddie Smith was on You Know What Dude. The Blocks Podcast had on Daryl Hammond. Rick Glassman had Ryan Sickler take his shoes off. Being In with Jordan, The Tim Dillon Show, and Bad Friends all did not have guests, and we interviewed Ali Sadiq right here on Joke World. As far as new stand-up comedy specials that are either out right now or coming out soon, Hannah Einbinder, Everything Must Go is out right now on Max. Joe Coy, Live from Brooklyn, and Keith Robinson, Different Strokes are both out right now on Netflix. And full stand-up comedy specials out on YouTube include Like and Subscribe, which is a brand new 49-minute project from Adam Ray that is certainly worth the watch. Sal Vulcano's debut special, Terrified, is out right now on the 800-Pound Gorilla channel, along with Luke Kajel, Cheers to That, and Andrew Rivers, Hello Beautiful. Also out on YouTube is Ali Sadiq's new special, Domino Effect Part 4, Pins and Needles, which is the final addition to the first 4-part series in comedy history that altogether adds up to nearly 6 hours of Ali Sadiq's life story told in stand-up form. An insane life story that you can hear more about by watching our brand new interview with Ali Sadiq right after this video. Another new special to look forward to is Sam Morril, You've Changed, which will premiere on Prime Video July 9th and is special number 6 for Sam. Tim Dillon just recorded his next special at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, which we will be sure to keep you updated on the release date for that as long as you're subscribed to Joke World. And last but not least, the No Press Network has officially announced that both Taste Buds and Hey Babe will be on a permanent hiatus for the foreseeable future. If you are a fan of either of these two podcasts, you might want to check out our most recent video on our second channel, Clip World, detailing more about the No Press news. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe or your mom's a hoe. And if you're wondering where I got these fabulous Joke World threads, check out the link in the description.
At Joke World. That's it, at Joke World.
And the world is WRLD.
That's a great YouTube channel, Joke World. Check it out.